Being a YouTuber in England is literally the worst. Like, it's so dark outside. I'm using a lot of lights. Can you see me? I don't know, but we're just gonna have to roll with it because this is what I say in every video, because it's winter, so we just have to put up with what we've got. But hi guys, it's Izzy, and in today's video we're going to be doing a book haul. You may be thinking this shelf looks a bit empty. It's because I've bought a lot of books, and we all know why that is. It's because my life sucks, and when my life sucks I buy books. Is it a healthy habit? I don't know, but it makes me happy, so you know. I've got a lot of books, so I'm going to try and go through them as quickly as possible. Let's get started. The first book I actually won from the lovely Layla. I will put her Twitter handle on the screen. They do great Kaz cosplay and they're also wonderful, so that's great. And that is The Deathless Girl by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. That's a cool name. It's also a signed edition, which is really cool, and it's just generally a beautiful hardback. But this, I believe, is about two twins, and they're part of this like traveller community, but one day they get like kidnapped and sent to work at this like castle thing, and then they start learning about this like terrible man called Dragon, I think, and yeah, I'm not 100% sure the plot because I haven't read it, but yeah, basically it's about twins who get kidnapped and they're also magical, and I'm really excited to read it because I think it also has a female-female romance, which is great. We're winning. So yes, I'm very excited to read this, and like again, just, I mean, look at it. We stan. The next book I bought I've actually already read, and that is Somersault by Katrina Leno. This book is wonderful. It is about two twin sisters who live on a very, very small island called By the Sea, and it's got like a few hundred people on this island, and their family is magic. Every girl gets some like minor form of magic, like her sister just floats as you do, and basically the main character, Georgina, hasn't come into her powers, and she's worried that maybe she's not going to get any powers, and it also follows the relationship between the two sisters and also like this magical family. Trigger warning for rape, sexual assault. There's no like explicit scenes, but it is explained kind of, so yeah, just be aware of that. But this book is beautiful and I would highly recommend it, and this also has a female-female romance, so we're winning, and it's got a cute cover too, so yeah, I got this book. The next book was sent to me by the lovely Becca from Pistachio Paperbacks. I will leave her channel down below, and that is We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. I wanted to read this book for so long and I'm so excited to have it. I know this book focuses quite a lot on grief, and I don't know if it depicts depression, but it's to do with like mental health and grief and grieving and kind of how unhealthy it can be and how isolated you can feel when you're doing that. And I know she goes to university and she is just like very reclusive and isolated and doesn't really talk that much, but I assume she learns to deal with her grief and, you know, opens up to people. And again, this also has a female-female romance, so we're winning, or at least I know she's queer. I don't know if it actually has like a romance. I think it does, but I don't think that's the main focus. Obviously the main focus is grief, but look at this cover too. Oh my god, we love a nice cover. The next book was sent to me by the lovely Emily. Again, I'll put her Twitter handle on the screen, but that is Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Nagan. This is like one of my most anticipated releases of the year. I'm very excited to read this. this is the second book in the series, but basically the first book, Girls of Paper and Fire, follows our main character Lay, and basically the whole like world is ruled by this demon king, and she's like a normal human, and every year the demon king chooses eight paper girls who are like basically his concubines, and who he forces like to have sex with him and stuff, and it's very traumatic. But this year he picks 9 because he finds Lay and she has golden eyes, and she's just like chosen to be this like extra paper girl. And basically it follows Lay as she tries to keep some form of hope and fight and passion in such an awful circumstance. And it also has a female romance. We are really living our best lives, which is like one of my favourite relationships ever. I love it so much. I swear to God, if they give me too much angst in this book between them, I will literally cry. And yeah, it's just like kind of girls fighting back, and it's such an empowering and beautiful story about surviving sexual assault and kind of learning to take back what you lost. And it's just an amazing book, an amazing fantasy book, an amazing, you know, exploration of women, and it's just all wonderful, and I'm super excited for this book. So thank you very much to Emily. I'm so excited to read it, and also we stan a good cover. The next book I bought was Orphan Monster Spy by Matt Killen, and I got into a bit of a historical fiction kick in the last couple of months, so I wanted to buy some more historical fiction books. And this book is basically, I think, set in World War II, and it follows a Jewish spy, and she has to infiltrate like a Nazi camp. So she has to like pretend to be a Nazi, which is obviously 1, very dangerous, and 2, Jewish, so I'm sure it'll kind of explore like living with the enemy and like living within that prejudice that is you. And yeah, I'm just super excited to read this, and it's gold and shimmery and lovely. And yeah, I'm really into historical fiction at the moment, and this seems like a more action-packed historical fiction book, which I'm excited about, because the other ones I've read up till now have been more like quiet and really people focused, and kind of showing the atrocities of war and also the love in war. And I think this will be more of an action kind of World War II story, so I'm really excited to read this. The next book I bought is What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. It's got a cute yellow spine, and this is a book I have already read. I read it in like February of this year, I think. I got it from the library and I really loved it, so I really wanted a physical copy of this. And basically this follows our 2 main characters, Ben and Arthur, and they meet in this post office one day, but they don't get each other's names, and they just kind of had this like conversation, and they just really connected, and they really want to find each other. So they put out like posts to try and like find each other, and also they then go on like a date, and it's kind of a failed date, and it's kind of like how you can still continue a relationship even if you have a couple of false starts. And it's just a really cute book and just makes my heart warm, and it's just really well written. I know some people think there were too many like pop culture references in it, and there were a lot of pop culture references in it, but I personally make a lot of pop culture references like all the time, so it really fit me as a person. So yeah, I really loved it. The next book I got was Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. I've also already read this, and it was amazing. I loved it so much, and also beautiful cover, and it's like peach. We do not have enough peach books, and I'm sad about it. But yeah, if you don't know what Call Down the Hawk is about, it's basically like a companion series to the Raven Cycle series. The Raven Cycle follows like 5 characters, and this series focuses on one of the characters from that series, and it was amazing. Gave it 5 stars. Will I ever be the same? Probably not. Has it changed my life forever? I think so. And yeah, it was incredible. I don't know if I should like say what it's about because I don't really want to ruin the Raven Cycle, but basically this follows Ronan, who is a character from the Raven Cycle, and he has an ability to bring back items from dreams, so he can dream anything into being. And basically this follows him as he is kind of slowly being hunted, kind of. And we also get introduced to a new character, Hennessy, who is like an art fraud person, and she can also dream things, but she can only dream copies of herself. It's wild. Read it. It's great. And oh my goodness, it was just everything I wanted and more. Also, this cover is so much nicer than the American cover. Like, sorry guys, but like, we got the good cover, just saying. I have no idea why it's called Cool Down the Hawk. Still not sure on that title, but it was great. Buy it, read it, have the time of your lives. The next book I didn't technically buy, but I just thought I'd include it. I got The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern from the library because we love a library. Also, this is a chunky book. Like, I didn't realise it was this long. It's actually kind of heavy to hold up. My arm is tired. But I genuinely don't know what this book is about because I don't want to know. I'm just ready to experience it. I haven't actually read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I do own it, but this book just kind of seemed to fit me more just from like the little tidbits I've heard of it. And I'm just really excited to read it because a lot of people who I trust the reviews of, who have very similar taste to me, have like all given it 5 stars, so I'm feeling optimistic. I don't know, let's see if there's a summary. I'll just read you the summary because I can't summarise it. When Zachary Rawlins stumbles across a strange book hidden in his university library, it leads him on a quest unlike any other. Its pages entrance him with their tales of lovelorn prisoners, lost cities, and nameless acolytes, but they also contain something impossible, a recollection of his own childhood. Determined to solve the puzzle of the book, Zachary follows the clues he finds on the cover: a bee, a key, and a sword. They guide him to a masquerade ball, to a dangerous secret club, and finally through a magical doorway created by the fierce and mysterious Mirabelle. This door leads to a subterranean labyrinth filled with stories hidden far beneath the surface of the earth. When the labyrinth is threatened, Zachary must race with Mirabelle and Dorian, a handsome barefoot man with shifting alliances, through its twisting tunnels and crowded ballrooms, searching for the end of his story. You are invited to join Zachary on the Starless Sea, the home of storytellers, story lovers, and those who will protect our stories at all costs. Hello? Did you write this book for me? Because this sounds incredible. And I believe there's a male-male romance in this, but don't hold me to that. I think from what I've heard there is. So I'm so excited to read this book. It literally sounds like my perfect book. The next book I got was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. If you don't know what this is about, I'll explain it to you, but I think everyone knows what this book is about at this point. But this is about a girl called Alex Stern, and she is offered a place at Yale as part of the Ninth House. Basically, there are these 9 houses of secret societies, and the Ninth House is basically the like ruling people. They basically keep all the other houses in line because the other houses are magical, so they need like to be kept safe and like to keep other people safe. So that's what the Ninth House does. They like keep everyone in line. And Alex is special because she can actually see ghosts, and one day her like mentor from this Ninth House goes missing, and she tries to find out what happened to him and how to get him back. And also there has been a murder on campus, and she is trying to figure out if one of the houses had something to do with it and what to do if they did, because that's not really what she was prepared for. So yeah, this book was fantastic. I gave it like 4.5 stars. It was just a bit dense with the writing, but yeah, great book. It's the snake. We love a snake. Next book I got is Proud, and this is like an anthology collection which was comprised and edited by Juno Dawson, who is a trans woman, and basically it's just a bunch of stories, queer stories, and kind of just, I think there are some like anecdotal ones about the author's actual life, and also like made up ones, fictional ones. Couldn't think of the word, fictional ones. And there's also a bunch of art in it, like this. I mainly bought it because I know Alice Oseman contributed to this book, and I need to read everything Alice Oseman has ever been even remotely connected to. But also I'm just really excited to read a bunch of stories that are centered around like the LGBT community, and I'm just really excited, and also it's a really cute book. Yeah, some of the writers are Caroline Bird, Simon James Green, Kay Staples, Cynthia So, David Leverthan, Tanya Byrne, Michael Lee Richardson, Karen Lawler, Fox Benwell, Jess Valance, Moira Fowley Doyle and Dean Atter. And then the artists are Safa Khan, Alice Oseman, Alex Bertie, Priyanka Meenakshi, Steve Anthony, Frank Duffy, David Roberts, Cameron White, Kristen Van Dam, Kate Alizadeh, Fatty Burke and Leo Greenfield. So yeah, there's just a bunch of like mixed stuff in here, and I'm really excited to read it. The next book I got was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have of course already read this book, but I listened to it on audiobook, so I didn't own the physical copy of it, and seeing as it's like one of my all-time favourite books, I wanted a copy, and also I wanted a copy so I could make everyone else read it in my life, because it's that good. If you have somehow been living under a rock and don't know what this book is about, are you okay? But also it's about our titular character, Evelyn Hugo, and she is basically like Marilyn Monroe in this world. She was a movie star of the 1950s, I think, like 1940s to 60s, I think, and she invites this kind of unknown journalist to write her memoir for her because she's getting older, and she kind of has avoided telling her story, and she wants to kind of explain how she had 7 husbands and also who the true love of her life was. And it also explores the fact that she is Cuban, I think, or she's Latina, and she has to kind of cover that up. She's also bisexual, and that kind of has to be covered up. And yeah, it just kind of explores her life in the spotlight, the relationships she makes along the way, kind of the things that she wasn't so proud of, but also how strong-willed and passionate and hard-working she was, and how willing she was to kind of do anything it takes to get to the top. And it's just a brilliant book, and I love it so much. The next book I bought I also have already read but didn't own because I listened to the audiobook of it, and that is A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I love this book. It's also got a very nice turquoise spine. I don't love the cover. I don't really like covers with people on them, but like, it's not the worst cover I've ever seen, so you know, what can you do? But this is a historical fiction novel that follows our main character Monty, and it's set in the 18th century, I believe. Basically, Monty and Percy go on this like grand tour of Europe, I think, before he is set to take over his father's estate, and also his younger sister Felicity tags along with him, and it is also complicated by the fact that he's in love with his best friend Percy, and that makes for some good angst and pining. Oh, it's some good stuff. But the like plot of this book is that he steals an item, kind of not on purpose, like he didn't think it was like a big deal, but he stole this item and they are being hunted down because it's extremely valuable and kind of magical-ish. And yeah, it's just a great book. I love it. I love the characters, I love the plot, I love the humour, I love everything about it, and yeah, it's just one of my favourite books as well. So I really wanted a copy of it, and especially the hardcover, because I like the spines so much. The next book I bought is Always Never Yours by, who is this by? Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broker. I believe they're married and write books together. I believe that's them. If not, I'll just cut this bit out. But this is a rom-comish book about our main character Meg, and basically in all her relationships the boy falls in love with someone else that's not her, and so she just kind of like moves from relationship to relationship, not really getting anything like fulfilling out of them. But then she is cast as Juliet in their school version of Romeo and Juliet, and a boy that is involved in this play wants her to like fake date him so he can get with this other girl, or does she want to fake date him to get with a boy? There's some fake dating involved, and yeah, I am a fake dating fan, so this book sounded great, and I really just wanted like a fun rom-com, and I'm really excited to read this because I don't have a lot of fun rom-coms on my shelf, and sometimes I just really need that in my life, so it's a good one to have on standby for when I get that rom-com feeling. And the final book I bought, which thank God for that, is Cryer's War by Nina Varela, and I have been wanting this book for so long, and then my grandma bought it for me because she's the best. Shout out to my grandma, the real MVP. But this is a fantasy book. Again, not 100% sure on what this book is about, so I'll read you the synopsis. Basically, impossible love between two girls, one human, one maid, a love that could birth a revolution. After the War of Kinds ravaged the kingdom of Rabu, the Automae, designed to be the playthings of royals, took over the estates of their owners and bent the human race to their will. Now Isla, a human servant rising in the ranks at the house of the sovereign, dreams of avenging the death of her family by killing the sovereign's daughter, Lady Crier. Crier, who was made to be beautiful, to be flawless, and to take over the work of her father. Crier had been preparing to do just that, to inherit her father's rule over the land, but that was before she was betrothed to Skya Kinnock, who seemed to have 1,000 secrets. That was before she discovered her father isn't as benevolent as she thought. That was before she met Isla. Set in a richly imagined fantasy world, Nina Varela's debut novel is a sweepingly romantic tale of love, loss and revenge that grapples with what it really means to be human. So I'm pumped for this book. It just sounds incredible. It sounds like so fantastical, but also with a solid hate to love romance, and again a female romance. So this haul is great because I've got a lot of female books to be reading, which is super exciting. And yeah, I'm just so excited to read this book. I've heard nothing but good things, and again, like all the people I trust the reviews of who have similar taste to mine have absolutely loved it, so I'm pretty confident I'm gonna love it too. And again, with the beautiful cover, like that's a majestic cover if I've ever seen one. So those are all of the books I've bought recently since my last haul. Is it a lot? Yes, but who cares? I don't. I'm happy. So yeah, let me know the most exciting book you have recently bought. I would love to know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video of me rambling about books I'm really excited to read. So yeah, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!